Hey, welcome back to Sports Extra. The high school football season will kick off for most schools here in Southern Colorado this week. With that in mind, we welcome in our good friend Dan Mormon from ColoradoPreps.com to talk a little high school football here in Southern Colorado. First of all, welcome to Sunday Sports Extra, Dan.
Rob, it's always a good time to be sitting down chatting football with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here tonight. We appreciate it. Dan, let's start with Pine Creek. This could be the year that they break through in Class 5A. They got a huge offensive line. They got an Iowa State commit in Mason Miller. Do you think this is the year they break through?
It's hard to say they didn't break through last year. It was their first year officially playing in 5A, and they made a deep playoff run. You bring back a kid like Mason who looks like a 5A football player. He looks like he should be maybe at a Valor Christian or a Cherry Creek.
True.
He's got all the tools that you need to help the Eagles make another deep run. This could be a year that they make some noise, maybe even sneak into that 5A football championship.
And they have the size on the offensive line, a 5A line, which is always tough when you're contending with those powerhouse schools in Class 5A in the Denver area.
And you need a big line to help protect a guy like Cameron Cooper. He's elusive, but sometimes he gets himself into a little bit of trouble with those feet. So if they can keep him upright and let Mason do his thing, this could be a great year for the Eagles.
Yeah, it certainly will. Hey, another strong Class 5A school right here in our area is Fountain Fort Carson. They lost some talent at key positions from last year's squad, but they're bringing some talent back. And one of the best stories of the year, it's great to see Miles McClarity, Dan, back on the football field.
Of all the teams that could need the emotional boost on the football field this year, it's the Trojans, and getting Miles back from his battle with leukemia. He was fine last year, but he had to sit out as he went through treatment. He's back. He's energetic. He's just been a joy for that program right now. Jake Novotny can't say enough nice things about that kid and how much him being back on the field is going to do great things for the Trojans.
Yeah, great to have Miles back. Great to see him on the field. You know, he was the biggest supporter of his teammates last season, and now he's going to get to do something he loves, and that's play football. And we wish him continued good health. Speaking of Coach Novotny, boy, has he done a fantastic job there in Trojan Town. I mean, he's really built a program, and they're not having the ebbs and flows of seasons. They're really sustaining a level of excellence there.
And that's the thing. They have the numbers that you need to contend with those 5A teams, especially up in the Denver area. You have, I think, 140 kids or something like that out for that program.
There's some years he doesn't have enough helmets.
That's right. I talked to linebackers coach Carl Fetters the other day, and he's amazed at the number of freshmen turnout that they have. And as long as you have consistent numbers out for your program, you're going to just find success by the law of averages.
Yeah. And when you have success, those numbers tend to grow. I saw it with Vista Ridge this season. Their numbers are up after they had a great year last year. All right, let's talk a little 4A football. Palmer Ridge, speaking of consistency, they've been a model of consistency, one of the best programs in all of the state. They have a new head coach this year, Zach Carlton. So, Dan, what do you see from this year's Bears?
You know, it's going to be a lot of the same. Carlton's a guy that comes from within the program. They didn't look outside to fill that role when Mike Armentrout was forced to step down to some health issues. So we're going to see the same Palmer Ridge Bears. You've got quarterback Derek Hester back, ready to do his thing. He was a big reason that the Bears once again made it to the 4A semifinals. Loveland has kind of been a thorn in the side for the Bears the last few years, but I'm sure that's something that's going to keep them motivated all through the fall.
Yeah, Palmer Ridge and Loveland, that was one of their better playoff games last season. Came down to basically a fourth down for the Bears that they couldn't convert. It was a windy day at Don Breeze Stadium, and I know Coach Carlton is hoping this year they can make that next step, the next leap in Class 4A after having so much success for years in Class 3A. All right, Vista Ridge, they lost a slew of talent. Braden Dorman now at the University of Arizona, their great quarterback, four-year starter. But they do have a new quarterback this year, and he's a familiar name. Zayden Stevens, who played at Pueblo East, has now transferred to Vista Ridge.
If there was a team that needed a timely transfer, it was at the quarterback position. It was Vista Ridge. Zayden Stevens was an electric player for the Eagles last year. It's going to be a jump from that 3A to 4A level, especially at that top-notch 4A level, where you're going to see your Palmer Ridge teams. You're going to see
Pine Creek.
Yeah. Well, Pine Creek's a
5A.
They're up in 5A now, but that's still the level of play that you're going to be getting at Vista Ridge. So it's going to be a challenge for Stevens as he comes in for his junior year, but there's nothing to suggest that he can't make that adjustment and shine at Vista Ridge.
He's got great size. He's a guy who, if he has to leave the pocket, he will, and he can make things happen. Has great arm strength, so it'll be interesting to see how things play out for Vista Ridge. They open up their season on Thursday at Legend, so that's a good barometer test for the Wolves.
Hey, if you're going to test a kid, just throw him into the fire, throw him into the deep end early, and let's see what he's made of, and let's see how this Wolves team is going to look with a new face at quarterback.
Yeah, all right.